Alright, just real quick before we get started, let me check this. Alright, just real quick. Okay, that sounds. Let me check this. That sounds way better. Let's actually just turn the. Okay, that sounds. Alright, now, how does this sound? Alright, now, how does this sound? Okay, that's good. Alright, be right back. What a night. Okay, that's good. Alright, be right back. Okay. Alright. Let's try this again. We tried to stream this earlier, and I had all kinds of mic issues. So, we're gonna do this again. And hopefully it works right. Hopefully the continue code worked. I guess we're gonna find out. So, let me see if I can recreate my commentary from earlier. I think one of the big things about Streets of Rage 2 is that your players are very big. It's very, for 1992, it's very modern looking. It definitely fits in with games like Street Fighter. And, you know, other games that would be coming along in the same vein. Ah, wall meat. Sarah, hey, how does it sound? I just spent like 45 minutes trying to fix this, and I think I did. It sounds excellent. Good. So, what, I think, quote-unquote, happened was Windows updated yesterday, you know, because it's the second Tuesday of the month, so it's always when the Windows updates are. And, I would have never even thought about this if this didn't happen. But it changed my, not in my capture card, but my default input device for Windows itself, to, I guess it was the capture card? Which makes absolutely no sense, although I guess it has a mic in it. So, I just kind of had to figure out where the settings were to change the input, not only within, let me pause for a second, not only within the OBS software, which has been, nothing changed on there, but also in Windows, so I had to kind of fart around in there, and for a while, it still didn't sound right. It still sounded real distant, which was the problem with the stream that I was doing earlier. when I went to listen back to it, I was just like, what the fuck? This is horrible. And after changing a mic setting as well, it sounds really good now. So, we'll just have to remember this for next month. Hopefully we can get a good month of non-screwed up streams. But that was pretty much what happened. I think. I think at least. Ooh, wall meat. Just like in Castlevania, wall meat comes from lights. Yeah, I don't know what updated this month, but yeah, that's pretty bullshitty that they screwed with my settings. That happens all the time with Windows, though, it seems. Where they'll you know, I don't know if it's like technically their fault, but something will change your, you know, some update changes your settings, and then everything goes all haywire. But that was what it was. I mean, and it took me a while to think of that maybe it's Windows itself. But it sounds really good too. And I messed around with my webcam too, and I think that looks a lot better as well. And this is, of course, another Streets of Rage game where you have dominatrixes as villains. Not sure what's up with that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You know, in 1992, you can play as a woman in this. Blaze is, you know, pretty badass. And she's a decent fighter. She's, you know, statistically, she's probably the median person, I'd say. She's pretty much good at everything. Everything's ranked out of 3. And she's ranked 2 in everything. And some of the men, like, they'll be ranked 3 in power or speed, but then they'll be lower in all the other ones, though. So it's kind of like, you know, you have to kind of decide what do you want to do. So I like her because she's got, you know, pretty much everything. And I'm no expert at this game, so I really don't know, like, outside of my own kind of observation, what... Oh, shit. Oh, come on. Yeah, the rain splatter effect is really cool. The mic, or the webcam, yeah, I could probably move it a little closer. Let me see. Yeah, that rain splatter effect is really cool. How's that? That's a little closer. Yeah, it looks good from... I'm looking over at my laptop. I think that looks better, too. Okay, cool. Yeah, unfortunately, the way my apartment's set up, I can't really put it straight forward, I don't think. All these motorcycles are so annoying. There's a later stage where they just, like, absolutely wreck you. I guess I can come back. Wall meat and a pipe. Very cool. Oh, crap. Come on. Where'd he go? Oh. Oh, 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 I know what it... Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, hell yeah, with the Target Lamp Club. I got 4 of these, around the apartment. Yeah, I just moved it. It was my, Kindle stand. Neat. The colors in this game look so good. This is one of the games where, I know we were talking on one of the Phantasy Star streams about how it kind of doesn't look good when it's all stretched out on a big TV. This game looks pretty awesome. Oh, this guy sucks. on. There we go. You gotta kind of trick him to line up with you. There we go. No, please tell me if something's wrong. I didn't even realize that because the laptop's kind of across the room, so I can see it. I can see my screen over there, but it's like far enough away that like my crappy eyesight can't really see the inlet video. But I didn't even think of that. That would be an issue. But yeah, that's just my Kindle stand. Yeah, she did backflip through the wall. She absolutely did. It's very cool. Yeah, this game is very, very bright and awesome looking. It's got a great soundtrack too that hopefully you can hear. Where'd he go? And he's gonna pop out down here. Yeah. When they go off screen, they never quite show up where they were. You can hear. Okay, cool. Yeah, generally the Streets of Rage games have really good soundtracks. They were reissued within the last couple of years. I think on CD and vinyl. I think that was one of the ones that Mike Maka worked on. From Digital Eclipse. I guess get those. One up, very nice. And then this dude kind of looks like Racer X. Except he's green. Racer X was white. Well, he was Japanese, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Best Buy just got rid of CDs. Yeah, that's not surprising. You know what else? At least the Best Buy by my parents got rid of all their amiibos too. Actually, so did Target. Pretty much. The Best Buy by my parents had the same like CDs for a million years, and the same Animal Crossing amiibos that no one but my mother purchased. It seems. All just kind of laying there, and then we were there, I don't know, a couple months ago. I was there with my mother. We just kind of popped in to see if there was anything we needed, and all the amiibos were gone. And the Target in Mount Laurel got rid of all their amiibos too. That aren't like, you know, Splatoon or Zelda or something like you know, newer ones. Because they had like probably 50 Animal Crossing ones at one point. Yeah, at least the Target here, they got rid of most of their amiibos. Oh, the Target here, they've had NES Classics, and when I was in there yesterday, they had SNES Classics too. They had 2 of them, so they're like continually coming back in. Which is good. It's good that Nintendo's actually getting the NES Classics out there, because the first time when they launched that, it was ridiculous trying to find one of those. Yeah, and in regards to CDs, I mean, God, I was there at the beginning when they came in, before they came in the little containers. They used to come in these long boxes. These long, like, kind of cardboard, they called them long form boxes. I think that's what they officially were called. And then it turned out they weren't really, like, environmentally sound. So that was when the, you know, jewel cases came along. But my first bunch of CDs that I purchased came in those long-form shells. I was such a big tape enthusiast as a kid. Because you could copy tapes from people. Like if, you know, a band everybody liked record came out, you know, one person would get it, and then everybody else would show up with blank tapes and copy it. You know, don't tell Metallica that we did that. But so I was really into tapes, and I kind of reluctantly moved to CDs. And then I moved really early to MP3s. The moment I realized I could, like, have everything on my computer and not have a bunch of, like, stuff take up physical space, I was like, sign me up. That absolutely sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be new Animal Crossing amiibos whenever a new game comes out. Most of the ones that the Target and Mount Laurel had still were, like, they weren't like Isabelle, or let's say, or, you know, somebody like that. They were like the Nook Kids and people like that. They were pretty obscure characters. But it's weird, they made like a ton of like individual Animal Crossing amiibos. Yo, that guy keeps stabbing me. We gotta get him. There we go. One of the things that the first Streets of Rage game does that's kind of crappy is they really overwhelm you on both sides. This game does it, but they do it, it's a lot more fair, I think, until later on in the game when it gets kind of cruddy. Meat, thank you. Yeah, this is the baseball stadium level. Oh, yeah, thanks about the overlay. Yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to put that together. And, you know, I hope people like it. That was one of the reasons why I switched to the OBS software from the Elgato. It's like the software that came with it, so that I could do an overlay. There's a boss coming up in a second here. Yeah, there he is. Big Ben. He comes back later in the game and he's really annoying. here he isn't too bad. You just kind of keep lining up and kicking him, and he'll go down eventually. The problem is that it takes a while doing it like this, so you gotta just be patient and not get aggravated and try to do something else. I'm sure there's something else. I'm sure there's a Let's Play on YouTube where somebody, you know, does some button combo that cuts his head off in 4 seconds or whatever. Yeah, I like the OBS software a lot better than the Elgato and than the software that comes with the Elgato, for sure. Which it's fine, but now that I know what I'm doing better, I like the OBS one a lot more. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm getting it. One of the problems with a lot of these, you know, capture cards and stuff like that, is that when you have problems and you look up solutions online, a lot of times the solution is something that worked for that person specifically based on their setup, and it may or may not work for you. Which is, you know, I mean, I'm used to that in Linux as well. Or that thing that worked for, you know, some person 2 years ago, might not work for you necessarily. I like that Blaze does like a Hadouken, and it's definitely, you know, it's a Hadouken. There's no getting around that. I was actually, speaking of PC, oh yeah, here's where you fight the Ultimate Warrior. Because he's like definitely the Ultimate Warrior. And he runs around like an idiot, like the Ultimate Warrior. Oh, he's got a whole nother health bar. What the hell? There we go. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's totally a Hadouken. It absolutely is. There is no getting around that. I mean, it's, yep, same era. When, you know, one of the other hot games was, you know, the Street Fighter. I mean, especially in the arcades. Yeah, the console versions was a little later. I think it was 93 was when Street Fighter 2 came out. And then I didn't really play Street Fighter until the Championship Edition came out that had the extra characters. For no real reason, but I liked playing as Cammy, the British lady. She was like an MI6 agent or something. And her finishing move was a Frankensteiner, which I thought was cool. There we go. Yeah, you know, this is that era when, you know, fighters really took off. You know, Tekken and all those Neo Geo, fighting games. A lot of those Neo Geo and PC Engine fighting games are all getting reissued on this. Well, I guess they're getting reissued on a bunch of places, but I keep seeing them on the Switch coming out. Oh, crap. I think all that Neo Geo stuff's on Steam, too. Ah, crap. Yeah, come on up here. Line up with me. There we go. And then you got these guys here who all look like they're the Legion of Doom. You know, the Road Warriors. Oh, jeez, I'm starting to hemorrhage lives here. I put in the continue code to get extra continues, but I don't know if it worked. Like, it doesn't, you know, really tell you if it worked or not. Crap, I lost another life. Nice. Last time I got to stage 6. Ah. Go down. Yeah, what's interesting about the soundtrack for this game too is it wasn't really that. Let me rephrase. It was kind of fairly unusual to have like such a techno soundtrack at this point. Which is interesting. Hold on a second. I'm hearing all kinds of sirens outside. Let me see what's going on. I don't know. Can't say it. Oh, crap. That dude came out of nowhere. Could really use some wall meat right about now. Ah, shit. Ah, come on. Yeah, this was as far as I got, because these things are super annoying. Yeah, see? Whoa! Electrocuted me. Alright, way too many enemies here. Need the wall meat. Come on. Thank you. Yes, more wall meat. Thank you. Yeah, this was as far as I got last time. Was to this guy. Ah, shit. Yeah, see, the problem is that when you get him, then the other one gets you. Yeah, like that. Ah, see? Yeah. Alright, let's continue. Nice. Got it. Last time I used up all my continues at that point, so we're doing really well. Oh yeah, conveyor belt. Oh, I hate it when he goes off screen like that. I like how these guys are just kind of chilling, waiting for you to show up. Like the beginning of Miami Connection. One up, thank you. Whoa, slow down. Let's get rid of these guys first. Don't worry about you. Hey, so if we beat this, this will be the third game that we beat on stream. And actually second one this week. Up we go. Oh. Ooh. Oh, you got another health bar. The second health bars usually go down pretty quick, as we're seeing here, though. Which is good. Alright, this is tough. Yeah, I get him to come near you. Ah, crap. There we go. We got it. Very cool. Oh, jeez. There we go. Ah, come on. Whoa. Yeah, we'll just Hadouken our way through that. Jeez. on. Whoa, he no-sold that drop kick. Come on, go down. Oh shit. One of those things again. Oh, come on. Dude, this thing is brutal. Jeez. Finally! Oh, you again. Shit. Ah, come on. Oh, come on, no! I didn't mean to do that! Ah! Why can't I hit him? Oh! Damn it. Alright, reload. Whoa, 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 what the fuck? Ah, jeez. Got him! Just took a couple tries. And that is the end of Streets of Rage 2. So that's now the third game that we beat. That's a second game this week that we've beaten on the stream. Oh yeah, by the way, the whole point of this game was to like rescue your friend and whatever. I could have beaten him the first time, but I just needed to get the gun pattern down. He's actually not that tough. Poochie. Poochie returned to his home planet after making Streets of Rage 2. Yeah, so we've beaten Alien Storm, which you missed by literally like 2 minutes. You logged out, and I got out of that weird map loop thing and was in the boss room. You just missed it. And then on Monday night, we beat Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. And now we've beaten Streets of Rage 2. So, not bad. You know, I'm pretty into that. That's some pretty good stuff. Yeah, there's this game's really cool. I think this is the best of the 3 Streets of Rage games. By far. I think it's really good. But, yeah, we'll have to, next month we'll play Streets of Rage 3, and we'll try to get through that as well. Yeah, Mr. X resurrects himself somehow. Don't ask. But, yeah. So, good job tonight. We fixed the mic. We got in a good stream. We beat the game, even. That's, pretty awesome. Good work. All around, pretty much. I'll just have to remember the next time I have mic issues to double check my Windows input devices and make sure that it's the input device. That's why it sounded all funky. So, man, look at that color palette. 3 different fonts in all kinds of wacky colors, and yet it still looks pretty awesome. This is not me playing, by the way. This is the demo. Yeah, great stream. Glad we redid it. Yeah, Sarah, as always, thank you for stopping by. Tomorrow night, we'll be streaming Final Fantasy IX. And then move it ahead. Starting on Monday, we're dropping Lost Sphere. I'm kind of stuck somewhere in Lost Sphere, and I honestly have not been able to find information online on what I need to do. I'm at a point where something's not an event's not triggering. So there's got to be something that I missed at some point. I can't get out of this village without talking to someone, but they won't talk to me, so we're gonna shelve that for a little while I figure out what's happening with that. That actually, the game's made by Tokyo RPG Factory. That actually happened with I Am Setsuna as well. I actually put that game down for, it was like 4 or 5 months, because I couldn't figure out, there's like a part in the map that doesn't open up, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And it was something stupid, it turned out, but I picked the game back up months later, and within like 10 minutes, I figured out what was wrong, so. So, I don't know. But, on Mondays now, what we're going to do, we're going to keep up with New Game Monday, and we're going to switch off. We're going to play a game on Steam. I was messing around on the stream earlier today, getting Steam up and running. And we're going to play Shadows of Adam, which is a new-ish, I guess it came out about a year and a half ago on Steam, maybe a little less than that, and it's about to come out on the Switch, but it's a Another one of these kind of throwback JRPGs in the vein of, like, you know, all the classics. I was watching a review of it earlier today on YouTube, and it was compared to Lunar and Chrono Trigger. So, okay, those are two phrases that I enjoy hearing. So, I've had the game, I've owned it for a while and just never played it. So I booted up my Steam library earlier, and it streams right to the OBS. It goes right onto it. You just go to full screen, and you just whatever your keys that you use to start your stream, and it worked fine. So we'll get to Chrono Trigger at some point. We'll get there. Chrono Trigger is kind of the... It might be the best game ever. It really might be. It really might be. But yeah, so we're going to play Shadows of Adam for a while. It doesn't look like the game's too long. What I want to do on Mondays for a while is... kind of run through shorter games that are new. So I went on what I did last night, I guess. I went on GameFAQs and actually looked at all the average completion times, which who knows if they're accurate, but I looked at the average completion times and, you know, some of the games that I have, and I'm trying to pick out, you know, some shorter ones that, you know, we can just kind of blast through over like a month and then do a bunch of those before we dive back into something longer, which means no Octopath Traveler for a little while. Maybe we'll tackle that in the fall. I kind of want to wait with Octopath Traveler 2 until there's like a walkthrough available and stuff like that. But Shadows of Adam looks pretty cool. And there's some other ones that I own, particularly in my Steam library. I often buy things on Steam when they're on sale and then never play them. So we got to do that. On Retro Game Wednesday, I also want to do... I just picked up the 8-bit Classics collection. It has like Shadowgate and Deja Vu and those point and click. There's another one. No, Deja Vu's the other one I'm thinking of, actually. There isn't another one. The point and click games that were put out on the NES. We should do a Shadowgate stream. Yeah, I have a bad habit of spending money during those Steam sales, and then, 3 years later, hey, maybe I should play this game. I tend to do that a lot. So, yeah, I think that's going to be what we're going to do on Mondays for a while, and then we'll in the fall, we'll swing back to Octopath and, Dragon Quest 11 and Valkyria Chronicles. We gotta stream that, of course. The latest Valkyria Chronicles promo, the Valkyria Chronicles 4, the new trailer, is like, as Steph would say, all the feels. They're going for the first game so bad with this game, and it's gonna be awesome. And then, at some point, Last of Us is gonna come out. Although that looks more like a 2019 game, it looks like at this point. Imagine what our lives are gonna be like when Last of Us comes out. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so there's a lot still coming, and the plan for the Retro Wednesdays is to keep doing Mega Man games week 1 of the month. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at this point. Some more successfully than others. And Oh, I went back to Mega Man 6 again, and it still sucks, so we're gonna give up on that. But I want to do Mega Man 7, I want to do 7, 8, 9, and 10, and Mega Man X. And so what we're gonna do is the first week of each month, the first Wednesday, we're gonna do a different Mega Man game, heading up to Mega Man 11, coming out November 2nd. And we'll probably do something with that too. And there's a Mega Man X collection coming out. I don't know when, but I know Digital Eclipse is working on that right now. So, yeah, some of the Mega Man games just don't hold up. See, the problem with Mega Man 6... there's a bunch of problems. I think 5 and 6 are definitely a quality drop. I hated 3 back in the day. I'm fine with it now. 4 is fine. Except when it's not. And then I think 5 and 6 are a real drop up. And then 7 is a, like, what the hell were they thinking kind of game. 8's kind of rough. Greg Seward from Player One. Shout out to Greg Seward. He just followed me on Twitter recently. He just did a Mega Man 8 stream. And then 9 and 10, I'm not super familiar with. I owned them on... I think the PS3. I think I owned them. But we'll do those two. Even though they're not really... they came out in, like, 2009 or something like that. They're not really technically retro, but... they're retro-style Mega Man games. And we'll do Mega Man X, because everyone loves Mega Man X. So we'll get that done. And yeah, by then it's, November 2nd, and Mega Man 11 will come out. And that looks more like a Mega Man X kind of game than the classic games. That's okay. And then the second Wednesday of next month we'll do Streets of Rage 3, and then the other weeks we'll do some other games. So next week, hold on, let me go look at my list. Is gonna be we also never quite did a Mega Man 2 stream. I did one very early when I first got the capture card, but it's pretty crappy, so we'll have to do another one. Next week on Wednesday is going to be Super Mario Brothers, because we're going to have a podcast out about Super Mario Brothers. I think that's going to be the one for August 1st. It's been done for a while, I just haven't recorded it. So we're gonna do Super Mario Brothers, and then the next week I think is gonna be F-Zero on the Super Nintendo. Because I think I want to do an episode about that, but I gotta play it again and see if the game is anything like what I remember. So, yeah, I have, mine is the Elgato HD60, which I think is the high-end one. It was, 100 and something. 60, I want to say. But it's great. Yeah, it's really good. It just kind of works. Once you get a hang of where all the wires go, it just works. It was the one that people really pushed me towards when I was, asking around. A lot of people like the Elgato ones, and the HD60, I guess, is the newest variation on it. So I picked it up. And it was a little more expensive than some of the other ones I saw, but I think, yeah, you're right. Everything looks gorgeous, so it's totally worth it. Yeah, I think a lot of people have the Elgatos. Some version of it, for sure. It seems to be a popular one. And the Blue Yeti mics too. I know you got one of these now too. I love this mic. HDS. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. You'd have to look. The place where I got help a lot with deciding something was on the Elgato, on the Reddit for Elgato. I asked a bunch of what were probably really stupid questions on there, and people were very helpful. Helping out, for sure. Yeah, the Blue Yeti mic was suggested to me a couple years ago. Who was it? Sarah Braella, at Umbrella on Twitter, who everybody should follow because she's a really awesome person. She was the one who suggested it to me. And I noticed a significant uptick in quality, like immediately. It sounds so good on the podcast and, on here too. As long as Windows doesn't screw up. See, when I record the podcast, it's over on my my Linux desktop. I have a desktop computer that's just like a media center. So the settings are just locked in Audacity. So all I got to do is plug it into the same port that I always use, and it comes out great. Yeah, the podcast is never, at this point, the podcast is the least of my concerns. It's the streams that are, the version I did earlier, I'm going to delete it because it's terrible. When I went back to record it, I was so mad because I thought I'd done a pretty good stream. Yeah, I have, I actually just bought a laptop, a new Linux laptop. I bought a System 76. They do custom builds, and it was about $1,100, but it's exactly what I wanted. So, see, the thing with Linux is you kind of have to learn how to build it yourself. So, if you're not willing to do that, it can be kind of a problem. But the System 76, basically, you send them the specs you want, and they give you a price, and you go for it. But I have an old Linux desktop that's running Ubuntu that I use as kind of as a media center. And that's where I record. That's where I edit video on there as well. As I'm uploading the streams to YouTube, which I just put one up there today, the Dracula X one, which actually has some totally shitty mic issues, but that was the same week of the Final Fantasy II one where I kept cutting out, and I fixed what was wrong. It was the USB port issue, I think. Yeah, I have no interest in Apple either. I mean, I started using Linux in 95, 96. I think it was 96. I had a crush on someone that I met on IRC in a punk channel who was real into Linux. And so I started learning about it, and when I found out that it was like this kind of like alternate operating system, it was kind of like rebellious, and I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard about in my life. And it turned out there was just especially back then, God, what a learning curve. And I didn't start using Linux on a day-to-day basis until about 06, probably about 2006 was when I really started using it on a day-to-day basis, and I've never really gone back. I mean, I got the Windows laptop for Steam and for gaming and stuff like that. but otherwise, you know, I got the Ubuntu laptop that I just got. That's my day-to-day laptop. I have the media server, and then I have a Chromebook for work that I bought because, you know, we're Google accounts, so the Chromebook was like $150 or something. So, but yeah, that's kind of the setup. I should actually take some pictures of the setup here of what my living room looks like. There's wires everywhere. I swore when I moved in here that I wasn't going to have wires everywhere, but here we are. It's hard not to. The next thing that I need to do too is I need to get an HDMI splitter so I can stream PS3. Because, oh my god, when we get done with Final Fantasy IX, whenever that is, Retronauts just did an episode on Suikoden, and we have to do a playthrough of Suikoden 2. I'm all fired up to do that again. That game is amazing. Suikoden 2 is so good. But we gotta, I have it on my PS3. But the problem with the PS3s weren't really made for streaming. So, they have, I guess it's the DRM. I think it's the same DRM that you have to you can just turn off on the PS4 to stream. I mean, then you can't use like Netflix or whatever. But I have a Kindle. I have a Kindle Fire box for that. But it what's it called? You have to get a splitter to kind of circumvent it so that you can stream PS3, because then holy crap, that opens up a lot of games I got. We could do Suikoden, we could do Breath of Fire, we could do Final Fantasy Tactics. There's a whole ton of games that we could do that I have on my PS3. We could do OG Final Fantasy from the reissued PS1 version, which is really a really good version. That's like a definitive version of that game. Unlike some of the PS1 reissues of the Final Fantasy games, which are kind of crappy. Final Fantasy V kind of sucks. Final Fantasy IV kind of sucks on the PS1. The version of Chrono Trigger on there is pretty terrible, honestly. Yeah, my PS3 honestly is like a PS1 RPG retro machine now. And, you know, Castlevania Chronicles I've been playing on there that I was playing for the podcast, that was on PS1. We gotta do a stream of Castlevania Chronicles as well. That's a cool game. I have the Metal Gear Solid collection that has the MSX version of the OG Metal Gear. That's totally different from the NES version. That we should stream at some point. I've not really played that before, so I'd be interested in doing some stuff with that because it's supposed to be way better. The NES version, I hate to say it, it kind of sucks actually. I've always had a kind of a love-hate. Maybe it's just me and I'm doing something wrong with that game, but when I went to do a replay of it for the podcast, like, oh god, that was one of our first episodes. It was like 2 years ago. It kind of sucks. Yeah, well, there was the MSX version, and then there was the NES one, and then there was Metal Gear 2 that was made without the creator. That is like, I remember renting it, and it was just not good. And then there's another Metal Gear 2 that's, I don't think it was ever ported over here. And then, like, 5 years goes by, and Metal Gear Solid came out, and I remember thinking, Metal Gear? Really? And a couple months later, it was one of the hottest games out there. It was very, you know, it's very surprising. I mean, they're cool games, but that was kind of a like, Metal Gear, really? Because there had been nothing in that series for a long time. Yeah, so the first Metal Gear is like 88, 89. I forget the timeline here. And then the second one's a little after that. And then, yeah, the Metal Gear Solid is 97 or 8. I think it's 98. I think it's the 20th anniversary this year. Yeah, the fact that they came back to that. I remember just being like, okay, sure. And then, yeah, I remember coming back for a semester in college, and it was a real hyped up game. Suddenly everybody was playing it. 98 was a badass year. You had Suikoden, Final Fantasy Tactics, Tekken 3. A lot of stuff going on that year. That was a really dope year for games. Because we just hit the anniversary for Tactics, too. And that game's so great. So, alright, good work tonight. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for participating in the strike yesterday as well. I saw your tweet earlier. There was a lot of people, I think, participated in that, which is really cool. I had a bunch of people asking me about it. Someone who follows me, who has a pretty big following, retweeted my tweet, and I had a bunch of those people asking me, like, hey, what's going on with Amazon? And what's going on with Twitch? And so I got to kind of, inform some people. I mean, and that's kind of the whole point of, not to sound like a broken record, but that's the whole goddamn point of collective action. This is the failure of liberalism and Democrats, is this kind of individual boycott idea of like, oh, I'm gonna boycott Walmart, or I'm not gonna go to Starbucks anymore. Like, these companies don't give a shit that they don't care, man. But when you get a lot of people involved, even if it's something that only informs people, then you're winning. I mean, that Amazon guy's worth, whatever number. So it's not like, you not buying a video game one day is going to really hurt him in that way. But in the, what it does is it that kind of collective action, pushes the ideas around. It gets people interested in labor rights. It gets people interested in collective action. And what they can do, and that is what's actually important. Not that, like, I find the kind of idea of individual boycotting so, like, it's such a liberal solipsistic thing for people that their activism begins and ends with, like, hashtags and brunch, I guess, here in 2018. And they're, I'm going to redact the next thing I was going to say, but, it's, if you get people interested in that stuff, then hey, it's great. And, that's kind of the whole point. So thank you for doing that. I know, I saw some other people very involved with that yesterday. That's great. It's really great. So, I actually put a thing on, you'll see when the stream ends, I actually put a note, on our updated stream schedule, basically saying, I forget exactly how I worded it, but, basically saying, hey, if there's another kind of collective action event like that, don't cross the picket line, basically. Yeah, your parents were Union. Yeah, my mother's family, going back many generations, are Union people. She was a 18, what's now AT&T. She walked the picket line while pregnant with me in the 70s, in the late 70s. And my grandfather was a auto worker union. And a lot of people on that side of the family, not on my father's side, because they're all a bunch of Republicans, but on my mother's side, there's a long history of, unions. People worked in schools and, all kinds of stuff. So, very cool. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight, because I got to get to bed. I actually got to go to campus tomorrow for a little bit for something, so I got to, get up at a normal time and whatnot, unfortunately. So, alright, we'll be back tomorrow night for Final Fantasy IX. I think we're almost through Disc 2. We're getting through it. We're plugging away. And we'll play that at 7... ish, plus or minus, as always. Yeah, great stream. This is one of our best in a while. So, alright, cool. Alright, with the new OBS software, I have to actually get up to turn it off. Talk soon. Oh, wait, is puzzle around? Say hi to Sarah. Hey, Sarah. You don't like being on the stream, do you? Turn. Say hi. Where am I? No. See? This way. There you go. You don't want to be on there? Okay. Yeah, I don't think he likes being on the camera. So, alright, I'm gonna sign out. Alright, see you tomorrow night for Final Fantasy IX.